No, you know how many cooks are gonna be in that kitchen? Probably enough for a gorilla to kill. That's crazy. 100. I've been going. It's been a week. It's been a full week of the arguing. I'm like, guys, it's gorilla. It's gorilla. It's gorilla. Okay. No. This is important. This is important. All right. Because I can tell just by the vibe in here that a couple of the dudes. No. I can feel it. I can legitimately feel it. I'm not psychic at all, but I'm looking at you, look at me, and I can see a couple of y'all are like, all right, maybe he can't do it, but somebody been working out all winter. Okay. No, okay, this is important, all right? So. We do a bunch of things. Some would say all, some would say we just haven't talked to women yet. But we do an HBO, a Netflix, a Paramount, a movie, we do all the podcasts together, we do all that, right? And because we do all that, we've been getting a bad rap. There's a lot of people like, ooh, you going to a dinner date with a man? Watch out. Right? Like it's just all the time. I've been called watching these men kill. That's but then I'll let you say that in 2024 we got a bit of a snag on our beat down in the media as men, right? Because a documentary series called Chimp Crazy, right? Now, Chimp Crazy, you may not recognize it as the savior that it is, but you gotta remember that in documentary series, all of them, almost exclusively, had been about men being evil and bad and murdering and all this other stuff. And then finally, there was a show called Chimp Crazy, where almost exclusively women were adopted chimps, let it get so strong and release them into the community. It's like that's what we needed. It's not all up. Finally, something is not a man's fault because they interviewed these women and they're like, yo, he's like my baby. And then he gets real close, like, ooh, let him out the window. If you have not watched it, it is a phenomenal series.
Damn, that dude couldn't kill him faster?
Terrifying and insane, and it is.
Damn, he had a better gun than me.
Both brilliant and done and
cool. Get payback.
But also captivating.
Payback.
Can't look away. It is truly insane.
He did that last slide that got me.
Probably be a name. There's probably a name for what this thing is that these ladies have, because basically in the U.S. we like having exotic animals, and one of the exotic animals that people really love having is chimps, right? And so these people get chimps on the black market, and when you get a chimp very, very young, it does act almost exactly like a human baby. Now, what's so crazy about this situation is that some of the women in these chimp crazy scenarios, they do have kids. They have kids. The kid will even be like, oh yeah, I went to college and came back and she didn't notice. She loved that chimp. That chimp is her favorite. Yeah, I don't even know what to do. Right? So some of these women do have kids, some of them don't, right? But they treat the chimp like a child, because when they get it, it genuinely needs them the way that a baby would need a mother. They even have to hold the bottle for the milk, and they have to cradle it just like a baby and everything. And it's just very sweet, it's very cute, and the chimp does get attached to them, like deeply attached, like a baby would, right? And the first 2 years of the owning the chimp, don't do it. The first 2 years of owning the chimp is exactly like having a baby. You know, they're not really talking. They're learning to walk. They're doing all the stuff like on this sort of timetable that's almost close to like a human baby, right? And then at three, the I don't think I'm going to bed. All right. So, said all that to say that one example is. You know what? I should be and wood paneling isn't gonna cut it. So it's flying throughout the home, right? And she's freaking out. So then, as much as these women are like, this is my baby, this is my child, whatever, when you listen to the 911 call, almost every time they're like, shut it. Almost exclusively. Every single time, right? And so then,
What the fuck, man?
I have no idea, right? And she's already calling. She's calling the 911. She's like, right? And then her neighbor, in order to try to subdue the chimp, attacks the chimp from behind, right? And then the chimp turns around, and I don't know if it was on purpose or by accident, that chimp slapped her down. And it's not even a gorilla. So people didn't know.
What the fuck?
No, it's insane. It's an insane premise. No, you're assuming 100 men are going to cooperate, coordinate, execute this plan. You're assuming you have a single coward in there. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not the one. Okay? You better pray I'm not one of your 100 men. You'll know you shouldn't be jumping the gorilla with me because I'll be that type. If you ever have somebody in your clique like this, don't do the jumping. If there's somebody like me, it's like, let's get them, fellas. That's
bro, I got the metas, bro. Bro, nobody can mess with me in this shit.
That's insane. Attack, boys! No. No. It's true. I'm not that guy. And I'm fine not being that guy too. There's some people that need to other situations. I can already tell you right now, when it comes to things getting bad in the world, I'm not. Oh, I will be done. Thank you. You know, I don't know. attackers. Like, we both been going a zombie apocalypse situation. I'm getting this. I would even zombie like for real with you. I don't think I would do this. I don't think I would like the thing. This is my family pride. Yeah, it's like I don't think I could. Because I'm already trying to find I wasn't fighting enough to not be I really right there. Because I was like, would not be me. So, not making it.
I like when they watch.
You're not going to catch me fighting to live with there's no Wi-Fi. Are you serious? What are you doing? I'm not even fighting as hard to live in the past. No, I mean, I get bit. Yeah, because zombies supposed to be like, oh. I don't know what it is. I feel like I would just be like, I got my hands wrong too. When people are like, oh. Even humans are like, can I be bit by anybody but him? Like, I don't like what he's doing. Don't be zombie, right? Like, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe somebody I know got bit before me. Both share and trying to spread it to other people so that people aside trying to get them to give me a chance. Oh,
You got a sniper on him, bro. You got a sniper on him. Come on. That sniper ain't do shit.
Bro, let me survive. Let me live. I won't kill you.
I was looking all low for this dude. I couldn't see him, bro. I didn't see it. He jumped out of nowhere. Yo, shit. Nigga, what? It's like bullets was going through that person, though. That's the weird part about it. I shot, and I was like, what the fuck happened? I was weirded out. First and foremost. I gotta fall. Then you grab nothing.
Hey, all the same, all I'm really trying to say is that I'm survive in that way, you know? And so if it's me,
I know I seen him.
99 other people, it is up to those 99 other people to take out this gorilla. Because the other thing, even when you have a plan, famously, Mike Tyson said everyone has a plan until they get it. In the case of a gorilla, everyone has a plan until they get their whole face slapped off. It's even if we're all charging in. Let's keep them fellas, even if we're all rushing in, right? And we're boot to boot, side by side. You're there to protect the man next to you, and you're running in with everything that you have. We will, out of instinct, stop the first face that comes on. We run like, oh, just that hesitation alone. 3 more of us die. Oh, they didn't have that. Oh, because if we're talking about 100 men, this is the way I imagine it, and maybe I'm wrong to the people who I think are wrong. The way I imagine it is 100 men. The 100 men at random, 100 different body types, 100 different backgrounds, 100 different ages, you know? So, I think you're rushing in with 100 random men. If you even have a plan, if you really think you can pull this off, right? Take it to account. If you're going to have by virtue of that range. Like, I think out of 100 men, you're going to get at least 9, maybe as high as 13 actual martial arts practitioners.
Motherfucker.
Actually know how to fight. And actually know how to fight may not say.
Who didn't grab that gun?
Men lose fights to men. Every time men fight, a man loses.
I knew he was coming for me.
So just
Now I'm coming for him.
stuff that you might have your jiu-jitsu practitioner in there. Laugh, whatever's up. Fancy for the scenario. We run in, sets up an arm bar in that gorilla. Hits him right where he wants him. Grabs the arm, leg in between, pulling it, trying to break that elbow, right? Pulling it as far as he can. And you see the gorilla. Now you just made the gorilla a gauntlet to beat the rest of us with. You know? Thanks, point. ride that. That's where you put that elbows in, get the knees in, right? And then he gets that gorilla right where he wants him, jumps up and wraps his hands around the gorilla's head, goes for that knee, right?
Where's he?
Garbage!
Oh my garbage! He was hiding this whole time. I've been looking for that nigga for a minute.
Favorite flavor.
Like, yo, he's not nowhere. You got alarms on?
You might have some. He'll be a great distraction. You have him off to the side. Hey, gorilla! Y'all now. Y'all get him. Hey, get him. Hey, hurry. Y'all, he getting close. Y'all. Hey, he getting close. Hey, don't run. Oh, he getting close. Y'all, hurry, do something.
I have a 5-month-old child in the house, and I do not want to get shot either.
What if I told you that the two most hated taxes in America, income tax and property tax, not reduced, not reformed, but canceled? And it's not a rumor. This is real. It's happening right now in broad daylight. And President Trump and Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida are leading the charge. Good morning, guys. It is Sunday, May 24th, 2025, and we have big news to discuss today. So, over the last, 100 years, we've paid the government just to earn a living. We've paid them to earn a living. We've paid the government just to live in our own homes, even if your home is paid off with no mortgage. Now, just imagine the future that you keep every dollar that you earn. And you never have to send another property tax check ever again. No more IRS, no more yearly threats of foreclosure from unpaid property bills, just real freedom. The kind of freedom that our grandparents only dreamed of, right? So Trump, he just made the boldest economic promise of his political career. And Ron DeSantis just set Florida on fire with a proposal that could obliterate property taxes and trigger a 50-state revolution. Let that sink in, guys. Now, just a minute. I'll show you the exact message that President Trump posted that lit up the internet. Then I want to break down how essentially Florida plans to erase over $50 billion of property tax revenue without even collapsing the system. And of course,
Right next to you,
it's such a bold move that they're doing here, that they're planning to do. Democrats, they're already calling for impeachment over it. It's that big. Now, if you're a homeowner, if you're a retiree, if you're a renter, let me know in the comments which one you are. But definitely stick around, because if you're sick and tired of funding wasteful government bloat, this might be the most important announcement of your lifetime. Now, if you guys don't mind, I appreciate the support. Hit the like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And stick with me, because once you understand what's really happening here, you're going to realize that this isn't just a policy shift. This is actually a full-blown tax revolution. So let's be very clear, guys. This is Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis. They are now pushing the most aggressive taxes because President Trump wants to completely eliminate income. DeSantis, the sign of rent that we all pay for the government every year, just for own your home. That's not even fair, is it? I mean, it's because you never pay you still got to pay for the property tax. I know. So together, they are going to get shit and how we run government and so I want to dig into exactly how this is supposed to work and why it doesn't work. So check this out. Just a couple days ago, President Trump posted something on his social that's sending shockwaves to Washington. He said, taxes will be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
People making less than $200,000 a year. Now, I want you to let that sink in for a second. President Trump wants you to pay zero federal income tax. It's not a deduction. It's not a credit. It's elimination. Gone. Done. Can I get an amen for that? Right? And so, how would the government well, Trump plans to flip the system from income tax to tariffs. Instead of taxing your paycheck, Trump wants to tax imports from foreign countries like China. Yeah.
Come on, man. How the fuck he know I was gonna happen?
With one mission, fund America without living underwater. This is the policy. This is the
Damn, I can't get away. I don't know where the fuck he was at. Oh, coming up the left. Coming up the slope. It's just coming on up.
So while Trump focused on our paychecks, now, I don't know what you do. Comment down below what state you like to watch and show it from. If you have to live in Florida or higher than Florida, you better pay attention. Florida State Representative Ron Shankville just dropped and Democrats saying that property tax is oppressive and ineffective. Right now, property taxes make up about $50 billion a year. That's 38% of all state revenue. Homeowners would never have to pay property tax again. Yeah. So let me give you the real numbers. A $1,200 $3,200 anyway, so imagine getting that. That is thousands of dollars. So it's just like getting a second stimulus check every year. Stimulus checks every year for the rest of your life. How would the state make up that money is the question, right? The states need revenue to operate. Well, they would do it by raising the sales tax, probably to around 12%, shifting the burden from the homeowners over to the consumers. Now, critics are screaming that this is regressive and for lower income families, but supporters say it frees people from the idea that you never truly own their homes. Now, I want to ask you guys, are you in support of eliminating property taxes, even if it means sales tax has to go up? If you're in support of eliminating property taxes, just type in eliminate property taxes. Or if you think it's a bad idea, just say it's a bad idea. But I personally am a huge fan of that, and I would rather have that. I would rather have sales tax over having property taxes exist, if you ask me. But, you know, I don't know if I'm biased because I'm a homeowner. If I were a renter, would I feel the same way? I don't know. But if you're a renter, you probably want to own it. point of view too, so I can see why renters would even want to eliminate because you're going to buy a house if you want to pay property taxes. Anyway, just saying. And as we're talking about all of this tax elimination, property taxes, and income taxes, we need to talk about Medicare. Did you know that the average person is being overcharged on a long shot over 65? It's high guys. That is why I decided to partner with Chapter. The founders of Chapter.
Why I keep hitting shit?
Make it their full so that no one else got taken advantage of anymore either. So Chapter, they're 100% paid, and they focus on literally just helping you to get into a better Medicare. And you can call them up for free. I'll leave their phone number in the description. The average person is actually saving $1,100. So if you're 65 years old or older, if your parents are 65 years old or older, give Chapter a call right now.
Damn.
Okay? Or you can hit them up on the web. I'll leave the link down below. You can reach them at askchapter.org/box. Guys, we've got folks who are just dropping comments, messaging me. Thank you, Ron. You're a lifesaver. Chapter was so nice. We're saving $600
I
a
feel
year.
like this is just too
$1,100
fast.
a year with one phone call. And just imagine saving $1,100 a year every year for the next however long we live, right?
It's
Like
jumping.
that's like it's like getting a free raise without actually have to work any more hours. Anyway, give our friends over at Chapter a call. It's 100% and just say, hey, Ron told me to call you to see if you can help me save money on my Medicare. And not only that, not only can Chapter potentially help you to save money on your Medicare, they can also tell you about benefits, keep your own doctors that you've been seeing, and see if you qualify for additional benefits that you didn't even know were available. So, anyway, give a friend or a Chapter call. Link in the description down below. But, if you still have to pay the government rent every year just to keep what you already bought, it's like, do you ever really want to stay home? The answer to me is almost no, right? So this is a question that's firing up voters. They are starting to get some national attention over this. And man, you're going to see how big this really is because the numbers just don't lie. Ripple effects, this could shake up the entire country. So, and this thing ain't even work without crashing, destroying, or collapsing. President Trump's impeachment over this plan. But let's talk about it, right? So, what does this actually mean for real Americans? Because this isn't just about legislative buzzwords. This is about putting money back into the hands of people who need it the most. And right now, if you own a $400,000 average basic home, because everything's so expensive, you're still paying around $3,200 a year in property taxes. Eliminating that stimulus checks every year. That's like getting a $3,200 annual raise without even working. What the fuck? Is anyone else a fan of this? Let me know. But now
damn, that nigga was right there, and I shot all the hits. Nothing happened.
Saving thousands of dollars.
I aimed right at him, shot him right in the stomach. Survived. I need to change my sensitivity.
So, property tax inflation, income tax removal, guys, we're talking like $115,000 per year staying in your bank account instead of watching. Guys, this money for you, and it's that much money. It's good teachers, your mortgage, more vacation, your car, maybe retire early. The list goes on and on. I mean, and let's not forget retirees on fixed incomes, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, many of whom who are being squeezed by rising insurance costs, inflation, medical bills. This would feel like immediate financial relief for them. There's a lot of folks out there with maybe their spouse had passed, and now they're just trying to survive on their own. And then the property tax like almost wipes them out every year. That would save those folks as well. Even real estate investors are doing double takes on this, guys. Real estate investors, because with no property tax and no income tax on middle class earners, rental yields go up, the return on investment goes up, cash flow goes up, demand goes up. So this is why a lot of experts are warning that this could well, I want to talk to you guys about that because this might be the part that because Trump isn't just cutting taxes. Trump is the only one the hard, and effective. The government is funded by tariffs, import tariffs on goods that were in the country. Then came the 16th Amendment and
I'm smoking on this reefer, baby.
Well, whether you're Trump is trying to do all of that. Trump can do income taxes. Drop a 47 if you support that idea. But drop a 46 if you don't support the idea of dropping income tax. I want to see what he's saying. He's not just hinting anymore. He is openly calling for a American-based economy. The kind America had back from the dream. He's floating the creation of an external revenue service. This is an agency that would collect tariffs, not paychecks. This is a direct challenge to the deep state revenues. That's not radical. Remember this. The IRS didn't even exist for the first 137 years of American history. Why do we need them now? The founders would have laughed at the idea of government taking a cut out of your own labor. Trump's message is very clear. We did it before.
What the fuck is going on?
But of course, not everybody celebrates because, of course, that's Trump's body. Even though the meltdown is already happening over this, right? The left is furious. And some in Congress are already supporting President Trump again. Now, of course, we need to talk about the Democrats that are going ballistic and threatening Trump with impeachment over his tax plan. Plus, does this really work? I mean, seriously, like, can you really replace $50 billion in tax revenue without cutting schools and disabilities? Well, the shocking data may actually change bombshell ideas. You can almost hear the Washington D.C. establishment scream. Democrats aren't just against it, they're melting down. They're empowered social posing, promising to eliminate income tax for the middle class. Democratic leaders were already calling for, you guessed it, impeachment again. So we're talking about individuals like Senator John Ossoff of Georgia, who went on the record saying that Trump's conduct is impeachable simply by proposing
What the fuck? They was on teams, man. Those niggas was too close to each other.
Hardworking Americans.
I'm looking at that shit. He dropped like all that shit right there. Somebody got to be right there.
You can't make this up. How is that a danger to democracy? Meanwhile, the average American people are celebrating the thought of actual tax reform.
Oh, they cheated that time. They cheated that time.
Correspondence death.
He was like a ghost too. He came out of nowhere.
Rubbing shoulders and hobnobbing, backpedaling, back patting each other, and
They ain't gonna show us what
here's
happened.
a failure. All while Americans can't afford eggs, can't afford rent, and they're drowning in tax bills. Only one journalist by the name of Alex Thompson from Axios dared to call them out, admitting that the media has failed to report the truth about Biden's decline and real economic suffering. And guess what? That moment got awkward real fast, because introspect is not what they came for. And now they're back to ignoring Trump's tax plan, pretending it doesn't exist, hoping the American people won't find out what's really at stake here. Well, we found out, guys. And now we're asking the questions that they won't.
New Bet365 customers get how much? That can't be right.
It's true. Join Bet365 today and get one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, lizard people, Bigfoots, dogmen, mermaids, everybody that watch me, hit the damn like button, man. If you're a Bigfoot, hit the tree. It's connected to the like button. You know what I'm saying? If you're a human, hit the button with your phone, man. If you're a mermaid, splash the water, man. Hit the like button. And let's get into this, man. We're going deep in this video. Halfway through, I call an order. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm chill. Drop back.
Bullshit. Figure out the truth. God and politics and anything else. That's what we're doing over here, baby. Let's go.
We get into some news today. Quite a bit we're going to cover, so buckle your seatbelts. Stand, die.
The 3-month experience with one of my best friends after my mom had passed away, and I was almost cracking. This is the dark side of Vegas nobody told you about, or the dark side of Vegas that people
understand. Her and her boyfriend took a vacation to Las Vegas, and she's seen some very not to that kind of like trash.
I visit Vegas, man, and one thing I've noticed is that they drug addicts were different from us. We live in Atlanta.
The floor is supposedly haunted by a mysterious blonde that likes to go around and strangle people. Her couple was found stabbed to death at Circus Hotel and Casino.
Is there a knife involved?
Yes.
No, you're not. Hotel room 666 in Circus is the devil. What the? In the bed.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Do something with it.
So let me tell you about this time how I was on the 3-month experience with one of my best friends after my mom had passed away, and I was almost cracking. This is the dark side of Vegas nobody tells you about, but don't pay attention to unless it happens to them, or it does happen to them, or somebody that they know, and then by then it's too late. Oh, this was after my mom had passed away. My friend at the time, at this time, this was a little bit before, like, there was these big things with these big grasshopper things. I don't know. This was before then, though. So, like, this is a little bit before then. Having a good time. We're having some drinks. We're walking, getting to see all the if you know the Fremont Street experience, then you know there's like a lot of stuff to do. But anyway, there's this man. There's this like big dude, like not buff, but like he's big. Oh, he's like 6'7", 6'8". He's bigger than me, and I'm 6'2". Or has two people at the back of him, like I'm thinking bro official. He has like two dudes at the back of him. They have on like these like nice fitting clothing, not like suits, but like nice clothing, and they have this big van. First red flag. He's sitting at the back of the van. They're like at the entrance of the parking lot, but there's nothing else in the parking lot but this van, and maybe some other cars like way in the back. So we're walking past the entrance of the parking lot, like along the streetway, and this man, he goes to me, he was like, you want to have free drinks? You want to come in? Free booth? You get a free seat at the table? Just come on. Mine, I'm having some drinks, and if you know me, like I can't really get down, so I'm like, you know what, like. Yeah, tell me more about it. Like, he's like, no, this man is really persistent. He's just like, no, come on, just get in. And I'm just like, the alarms are not going off in my head. You know, like, hey, don't do this. So my friend's boyfriend, they're like walking in front of me, and they notice I'm not behind them anymore. So he like walks back, and the dude immediately pulled off. Like, immediately pulled off.
Man, I ain't see your bitch ass.
He didn't even get a chance to say anything. He just saw the dude walking towards me. He's like, in his mind, he's thinking, this chick is up. That's when I knew, like, okay, this nigga just kicked me in his fucking head. My mind, I'm thinking, like, so he's such a regular ass nigga. I'm not thinking that this could happen to me, but in my mind, it's after everything's so done, that's what it is. And most of the shit nobody talks about niggas because everything is so easy, so fast. So just weird.
These are the top 5 most haunted hotels in Las Vegas. I was in Las Vegas local for 20 years, so I can actually vouch for this. At number 5, we have Circus. Now, not the actual hotel in itself, but there is we all know that the amusement park is normally a place for kids, but it is said that kids are first playing in places that
That's called getting jumped for show.
Watched, or at least that is what people say like, and there is no one. At number 4, we have the Flamingo Hotel. Now, it is said that people who have stayed at the Flamingo or have worked at the Flamingo that there are a lot of apparitions, especially in the hallways. Also, you'll see sometimes a warped face come out from behind an object looking at you, and then once you see it, it'll go back. As at number 3, and I've worked here before and stayed at this hotel myself, so I can seriously vouch for this.
Wow.
We have Luxor Hotel. It is not a secret. Luxor holds many haunted things, such as a body museum with actual bodies and body parts. It also holds the Titanic Museum with Titanic. Also, there are many cases which are
they keep playing with me
of people unaliving themselves. There are many accounts of people going to check in the hotel and people will fall from on the levels above, fall right from the Number 2, we have Caesar's Palace. I can actually say for myself that this is probably one of Las Vegas' number 1 haunted spots places of people being at this hotel, so you guys here. But there's also a lot of paranormal activity here as well. And last but not least, but certainly number 1, now if you do know, there was a fire in November of 1980 that killed over 80 people. I believe the number is between 80 to 90, possibly 85 people that died in this fire. But what used to be in the excuse me, but we also have a bonus. That would be Binion's Hotel. Now, it is said by people who work there, especially graveyard workers and housekeepers, that there is a lot of activity followed by apparitions. You'll smell the smell of perfume, you'll smell cigars, and also a lot of the times things that you'll place somewhere will be misplaced. If you guys are a fan of this content or my content specifically that involves paranormal activities or anything dark and ominous, go ahead, like, comment.
So here's an auction property that was just bought. A lot of money to some wrong people. But guess what? This time, the right guy
just bought this property. So let's go inside and show you exactly what it looks like. Okay, so we're inside the property, which you have this, obviously have this because auction purchase. The condition that you guys see of the property, it's exactly how this property is. That, and we're in a section which is just north of Oak Park, and really beautiful house here. So the back end value needs to be brought up at par to what all other properties are. So the 330 are on it, and it was bought as the 8-bedroom.
Thought that was him.
So we will do KBB on that. So let's start with the 4-bedroom. So where does that look like?
So yeah, we're gonna bring out this wall over here, about 6 or 7 feet. So
So guys, think about it. You're spending about $1,500 doing that. You're increasing the back end value. Okay? Because now it becomes a 4-bedroom.
What?
2.5 full baths. Now, can we jam another half? Yes.
That nigga went directly as fast as I was going.
Two full baths. So that's going to happen with the existing bathroom that's kind of behind us, right? And that you're going to pull it this way, and you're going to make that a full bath, correct? Right? So that's another thing that will increase the value, because anybody that's going to buy the property, like imagine buying a property that's a 4-bedroom jamming like that. Doesn't make sense. You have a bedroom on the main floor, so if you get the full bath,
nothing.
It's much more practical, even if you're guests, if you're using the full bathroom when you're downstairs, it just is very, very, very practical. Already, property has a brand spanking new hot water high efficiency heater, same thing, high efficiency furnace, and it's dual zone heat. So that's actually a plus for the property. He already got that with it. In general, property is in pretty nice condition. It's kind of touch up paint, do minimal. Now we're left with one big item, and that is the kitchen. Right now, I don't know.
I was busting that bitch. See, that's why I don't like an MG. None of those bullets hit this dude.
Yeah, so initially we're gonna push this out to make it a house. Now we're not doing that anymore. We're bringing it over this way, so we still get that space for we're gonna use the
Damn, commercial really took me off.
Experienced it for her and her boyfriend took a vacation to Las Vegas, and she's seen some very suspicious stuff that I'm going to address.
So it's 2021. I visit Vegas with my man, right? And one thing I noticed is that they drug addicts were different from the ones from ours. We live in Atlanta. They drug addicts, like, they lean over a lot. Like, you can tell that they are on a needle, or at least you will assume, but something was just very strange about that. It didn't seem like they were only on a needle, only on drugs. It just something that was strange. Like, I peeped that anyways, right? There was a point in time where we walked up and down the strip, right? We was tipsy, like we was sipping on our slushies or whatever. We was walking up the strip. We seen this man yelling at the sky like he was manifesting, like he was yelling aggressively that he wanted a girl to spray her butt cheeks and fart in his face. He said it over and over again, non-stop. He wouldn't say nothing else. He wouldn't look away, wouldn't flinch. He just stared into the sky saying that. We come back down 30 minutes later, boom, he's still doing the same thing. But that's not the weird part. So the next day, we're walking, past like the hotels, we on the strip, and we're going past Flamingo Hotel. Vegas is known for their casinos. Their casinos, it wasn't like no door opening at the Flamingo. Like, it's just an open space. It don't have any doors. It's just a wide open space. So I just happened to look over, and one of them, and then he bounced back. So I'm like, what the world? And I'm just like, whatever. But then the other one, he did the same thing. He was touching, moving like a zombie. And he tried to go inside a casino, and he bounced back too, like aggressively. And I was like, what the hell? And my man was like, you seen that? I was like, you seen that? So to be clear that we saw the same thing, I was like, what did you saw? He said a motherfucker tried to go in and couldn't go in. I was like, knew I was not tripping. It's almost like there was an invisible barrier to where they could not get in. They literally was slouching like zombies. And then they tried to go inside the casino and they bounced back. Like it's like a force bounced them back, both of them separately. And the crazy thing is, like, all this shit is happening in Vegas. Vegas is known, Vegas is in Nevada. Nevada is known as for Area 51. Nevada is known as, for being a site for aliens. Another weird thing happened where I was high as a kite, if you know what I mean, and I was walking the hallways in my hotel, and I looked at the floor. The patterns on the floor looked like alien heads. I kid you not, like it looked like alien heads. I was like, what? Like, you know what I mean? And like those aliens, like those look like alien heads. And you look at it, it's like, damn. I looked it up on Google. I could see the floors, and it still looks strange in the pictures, but it's not showing what I saw. Mind you, like you gotta see that shit first, but I'm gonna show the picture anyways because it was weird, but I don't know. I don't know what I witnessed. I don't know what was that thing with the barrier at the Flamingo. That was crazy.
That girl was not tripping, and ain't no tree that good. So let me tell you a little bit about Las Vegas as a Nevadan and as a Las Vegas resident. Our house's population, most of them are on, but a lot of our house's population live in the underground tunnels that are underneath Las Vegas. And underneath these underground tunnels are spirits and what we like to call the Men in Black, which are reptilian beings that go down there on nights. They commune down there. And when I say reptilian, they look like humans, but then they don't. They go down there to shed, if you catch my drift. Whenever our house's population happens to run into some of these beings, I personally believe that they do something to them. And it makes them either go batshit crazy, turn to substance abuse, or just makes them like weird. We are absolutely known for our paranormal and our alien activity. We are down the street in Area 51. I mean, to the point where ginormous aliens are in people's backyards. And
There's a dude right behind me and a dude in front of me.
Like to hover over
How the fuck he's bitch through here?
Because like a year and a half ago,
What the fuck?
over the very famous Sapphire James.
There was too many spots in front of me.
That the myth, black, or other aliens and demons like to cosplay as racist people and sex abusers. And when they fight, they cannot, or they turn these people into zombies. Just think of it like this. Have you ever seen Percy Jackson and when they went to find it was
What? He used a pistol too? I ain't seen you drop down like that.
Suspicious trash. That's why this is a portal and this.
Put a finger down if you just got back from a girls trip to Las Vegas and you spent 4 days there, 3 nights, and decided to go visit the Luster that you've never been, but decided not to stay there based off of reviews. And you get a stranger to take this picture of you and your friends, and then upon reviewing the photo, you start to see something in the top right corner. Upon zooming in, you see this figure up here, and it just kind of looks like a person standing over the balcony. But then when you zoom in, you start to see that it looks like somebody is sitting on the outside of the glass. But as you can tell, there's no balcony right there. So you and your friends decide to look up other photos to see what they look like when other people stand up there. And it looks normal. You see the line from the window in front of them. So you start to talk to locals, and they tell you how the Luxor has a really bad haunted history because of people unaliving themselves off of the edge of the balconies. So you guys decide to see if you can invert the image, and you get this, which you can clearly see. It looks like the dress is hanging over the bottom edge, and you can't see that front line, which would mean somebody's standing on the outside of the window, which is impossible. There's no balcony. And it almost looks like there's a device to unalive yourself in the middle. Tell me what you guys think, and if you've had any experiences like this at the Luxor.
Tell them why should people join us on May 15th?
Well, if you're a person that is
not willing to settle. If you're somebody that's looking around, you're looking at your life and saying, my original vision for my life doesn't match where I am. And maybe you feel a little stuck, or maybe I've tried several things, but they've not worked, but I want control of my own life, my own destiny. I want to be able to have my income change. I want to do something
Damn.
that's purposeful,
That
that's
dude
meaningful,
behind
that
me.
makes me feel...
So, he got off the phone with a very interesting FaceTime call from a friend
Come
in
on,
Vegas
cheating ass
yesterday.
nigga.
And he had actually called
Where
me
the
at
fuck
1
was he
o'clock in the
in?
morning, but our bitch was knocked out because I live
He
in
was on the
Florida.
rock.
He proceeds to tell me how him and his partner had went to Vegas and they were in a cab or Uber or one of those things. They were, I guess, driving back to the hotel room or something when the person that was driving the car, cab driver, was talking to them and they could see the person through the rearview mirror. From my understanding, the person was talking in a manner that made them question the person's age, right? Some of them was like, how old are you? Right? Because the conversation, it just felt to them like off. And it was funny because they were talking about how Vegas is very fucking weird and there'd be weird shit happening over there and so on and so forth. He said that the person then turns around. Mind you, they thought that this person was 18, 19, 20, max 21, 22. They both saw this person through the mirror, the rearview mirror. And when the person turned around to give their age, I think he said that the person said that they were 50 years old. They freaked out because it was an old person. They looked at each other and went like, focus shit of shape-shifting situation. That picture, young as hell, and all the things she says, I'm 50 and fuck out. My partner Ryan was not in one of those things, and he was saying how she was saying, I saw you, the person changed, no, and you didn't get the So I'm just curious, has anybody out there had like a shapeshifter moment in their life? Because I would love to hear your story.
The dark side of housekeeping, part 2. So, working as a housekeeper in Las Vegas, I think most of the people that put into this. One of the record teacher, Miss Maria, who told me about the next transition after I came to her and told her what I just recognized. So, if you don't know, working in Las Vegas, it doesn't matter what shift you have, day shift, mid shift, or graveyard. That's it. That's all. And you got guys here. You have nothing else to do but me. This was about towards the end of her shift. Like she had just pretty much a few more rooms to do. But she let me know that she had went to one room that was scheduled to check out until the very next day. It was the middle of the night, so technically it was the very next day, but they were scheduled to check out until like after 10. Now before this, everything in her shift was fine. She said she was cleaning her rooms, everything that she did, everything. But she told me that she gets to her room, she unlocks the door, and she smells something that kind of smells like paint. She just has this smell of cologne, but it's dark. She's graveyard, so the rooms are dark. Normally some lights are on, but this particular room, it was very dark. Opens the door, pretty normal, lights on. She turns the lights on. She notices that the linens are completely off the bed, so the bed is bare. And then she notices that the bathroom is a complete mess with towels, and also the water is still running, which is not weird, but it's weird. You remember how I said it smelled like things? She walked to the front side of the bed, so she didn't see on the other side of the bed. She walks to one side of the bed, and everything's okay. But she goes to the other side of the bed, and she sees what looks like a person bloody everywhere, wrapped in the bed's sheet. Only to find out they have been stabbed 16 times and wrapped in the bed sheets. That person died from 16 stabs. You remember how I said it's not a case? She was stabbed.
Okay, so let's talk about all the haunted hotel rooms in the Luxor, because there's not just one, this whole damn casino is haunted. In fact, a lot of people think this specific casino is actually cursed. It was built in 1993 in 18 months, which is an incredibly short period of time for casinos to be built. And it was pretty well known that multiple construction workers
You know I'm
actually
coming back
lost
for
their
him.
lives. The
You know
casino
he
is
my arch
located
enemy.
on the strip, and lots of people
That's
come
my
to
nemesis.
while I'm right there on the casino floor. More specifically, one was actually dumped down and landed in the middle of the old buffet. Another man fell down the elevator shaft. An employee was unalived by his significant other at the front desk. One person was unalived in a parking garage when a bomb went off in their car. A mysterious case of Legionnaire's disease actually took 2 lives. And the 7th floor is supposedly haunted by a mysterious bomb that likes to go around and strangle people. Part 2 coming up. Part 2 of why the Luxor in Las Vegas is supposedly cursed. Now, before I go back to a couple more unalives and ghosty stories, most people think that the reason that this casino is cursed and was cursed from the get-go was because it's a pyramid, and those pyramids in Egypt are tombs. That's what they are. And also, supposedly, the Sphinx was built facing the incorrect direction. So a lot of people think that it's because the Egyptian gods are enemy UAV overhead. This whole little monologue that supposedly was pulled down, supposedly because of so many apparitions and people saw so many creepy things on there. Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the sky. The Titanic exhibit is supposedly super haunted. A lot of people that walk through it swear they can feel the ground moving as if you're on a boat, and they have seen ghosts and all sorts of spooky things in there. In 2010, an MMA fighter and an MLB football player got into it, and they got into a fight over a girl. One of them was intoxicated. One of them had a punch to the face and a punch to the chest, and then he just kind of dropped. So there was an unalive there, and that was very mysterious because it wasn't really serious enough to cause somebody to just unalive. It was just kind of like a fight. Additionally, just last year, in July, this 18-year-old woman was accused of unaliving somebody in a hotel room. If you're looking for a specific creepy one to report,
What's that?
30018 seems to be the most haunted, with the most activity. And at 8:30 a.m., a lot of people have sworn up and down that this room goes crazy. But additionally, as I mentioned before, the seems to go more things and like getting a little choked in the middle of the night.
The experience at the dead dealership with you for every part of the road.
16 rounds, out.
He has effectively
Enemy UAV is online. Enemy is on UAV overhead. 25 remain. Solid work done.
Treatment for evening will not hurt trusted mate. Just started today at Genocide Time.
Inserting armor.
Las Vegas is a city that is full of incredible stories and legends. This is so creative person comes to the Luxor, creative for the creative and public crafts with taking place. These are teams working on destined to be good and very long.
Damn, they on teams.
Has a notorious reputation for being a
Go get off.
I'm looking all. Yo, he was invisible, bro. I'm looking all over it. Nah, bro. He just was at the floor, and then he ended up at the ceiling. Did y'all not just see that? He was just at the floor, and when he got up, he was on top of something. That was stupid.
Construction workers died during the building process, with conspiracy theorists suggesting that the management these acts under wraps to save the reputation of the resort. Reasonable grounds for high driven. There are also some who argue that the Luxor was doomed to be haunted before it was even built, simply because it is designed like an ancient Egyptian tomb. Many suggest that the Luxor's haunting has increased since the hotel opened the Titanic theme exhibition in 2008. The exhibition contains parts of the doomed ship and personal items belonging to many of those who lost their lives in the tragedy. In Las Vegas, hotel deaths are not exactly uncommon. Approximately 1,100 visitors die every year in Sin City, with the majority being from natural causes. However, 15% of all deaths are suicides, 11% homicides, and an eerie 6% go completely unexplained. Nearly all of these deaths would not be reported on, because they know that bad news can affect tourism and reduce the city's profits. There is little proof of the many deaths that have occurred at the Luxor. However, even without these unreported deaths, it is clear something strange is happening inside that famous Black Pyramid. The Luxor's first reported death occurred in 1996 when a lady jumped off from the 26th floor of the hotel. At the Luxor, suicides of this nature are made extra grisly because the pyramid shape of the building means those leaping to their death do so from indoor balconies. This means instead of the street, they are
headed to
on
the
the
war zone.
building's basement and marked other deaths. Another death also believed to have fallen to his death, this time from the 10th floor. The circumstances around his death remain mystery, but there is no evidence that results his followers having poisoned. The Luxor has also seen deaths from many other causes. These have included strangulation, cancer, assault, robbery, and murder of a 16-year-old girl by the name of Sarah Gilbert. But perhaps the most phenomenal means of the murder came in 2007 when casino worker, 24-year-old Rovaldo Violante Antonio was killed by a hammer explosive. The bomb was set in their house and had been locked, turned upside down in the top of his head.
Resurgence. Survive the timer to secure redeployment. Earn points to speed up the countdown.
Enemy dropping into the AR. But underneath that is a lot of supernatural activity because of all the ice that is being there. There's a lot of crime that happens there for educational purposes only. There's a lot of crime that happens there. There's a lot of cover-up that happens there. With all of the entertainment in Las Vegas, with that comes a lot of psychosis and a lot of crime, a lot of unaliving, especially in hotels, especially in certain resorts and casinos, etc. These are places where spirits, aka liquor is spirit, are always flowing. So, and you know,
His homie got me.
Of Las Vegas, the state of Nevada. Let's get the state of Nevada itself is, you know.
Whoa. What?
They've got an assault pad. Get back out there. Air and a lot of.
And they got a perfect game or something.
Because of the movement and because of what is under Las Vegas, you should definitely see research on that if you haven't. It is definitely a city that you need to stay spiritually protected in, I would say. Just having friends, just moving around. You know, I believe a lot of people probably go to Vegas and probably pick up a lot of different things. I was in Vegas You know, I would enjoy myself, but I would definitely have my head wraps. I would definitely have my aura sprays with me, my oils, you know. Um, but yeah,
But you needed to have your refrigerator wrap.
loaded city and a loaded question, you know. Yes, I feel that Las Vegas is a city with a lot of souls wandering there and a lot going on spiritually. And I am Madam Serena. Thank you for watching.
A few years back, I stayed with 3 friends in Bally's Hotel in Vegas, once known as the MGM Grand, until November 21st in 1980, when it burned down. The fire began from a refrigerated pastry display case in one of the restaurants located on the first floor, and apparently the fire engulfed the resort's casino, and the smoke traveled into the hotel tower, killing 85 people due to smoke inhalation. We read about this in some of the reviews of the place while booking. But I mean, that was 40 years ago. How would it really affect our stay? The rates for rooms were surprisingly more affordable than some comparable hotels for that specific weekend.
Enemies are dropping into
Something
the
I didn't
area.
pay attention
Watch
to in the
the
reviews,
skies.
though, were the number of people who reported witnessing and hearing strange paranormal events. Stories and reports of ghostly activity in the casino. The most common complaint I was seeing from guests was the presence of a smell of smoke and burning, especially on the upper floors, even though there was no one smoking. But I wasn't aware of any of this on our first night there. On our second night there, we went to a couple casinos, then got dinner and went back to the room to regroup before heading back out. We ended up stopping at a liquor store for some booze beforehand, so we could all loosen up a little more before going out. After we pre-gamed for a good half hour to an hour, we all called an Uber to find me a nightclub not too far away. By the time we got there, the liquor was definitely kicking in. This is where my memories start getting a little fuzzy. I remember we were waiting for a few seconds. I remember my one friend Alex talking to this group of girls in front of him. Next thing that I really remember was standing at the bar inside the club with my friends playing on the strip. I vaguely remember bits and pieces of being on the dance floor, but when I say I blacked out besides that, I'm not exaggerating. The night became a little clearer when I left the club, but according to my friends, I left alone. I somehow made my way back to the floor. From here on, I remember just about everything. I was sitting on the edge of the bed with my head in my hands for quite a while, feeling like my head was spinning, when I heard what sounded to be a kid talking on the other side of the door. I pulled myself together, went to check through the peephole, making sure no one was choking on anything, I guess. There was no one visible, so I opened the door. The corridor was empty. At this point, standing up made me feel even sicker, so I went to the bathroom to throw up. After that, I felt better, and laid down in the bed to go to sleep. It was 3-something in the morning. None of my friends were back yet. I heard the coughing once again. It sounded like a young boy's coughing. I didn't feel like getting up to check again, though. I resumed trying to fall into a deep sleep, when out of nowhere, this ear-piercing ringing went off, and with a flashing red light in the room. It was a smoke alarm in the corner of the room. Every time that flashing light blinked, you could see a person standing in the corner of the room. It looked like a young boy facing the door. I looked closer to see if I was seeing things, and on the fourth blink, I started to scream. I crawled backwards out of the bed and onto the floor. I don't know what exactly I thought was happening, that I was going to be killed or that I was seeing a ghost. But after a while, as if I were experiencing sleep paralysis or a hallucination,
What the fuck is it?
the boy in the corner disappeared.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I got jumped.
Just like the boy disappearing, the smoke alarm
I
turned
don't
off.
know how this nigga was behind me, man.
I imagined pacing for the next 10 minutes.
If I look up this shit in Call of Duty and they say niggas is spinning in circles and disappear, I'll be
I
like,
decided not to tell them for the sake of sounding like a drunk fool. I did more research the next day about the hotel and supernatural sightings. I was even more disturbed when I read that other people had witnessed and heard a boy talking on the 17th and 18th floors. Needless to say, I didn't want to stay there anymore. Thank God it was only a 3-night trip.
where the fuck did he go?
In Area 15, a Vegas nightmare.
Let's get to work.
There's a story locals will tell stories from Area 15 in Las Vegas. Late night cleaners say it used to be a testing site before they
What? Y'all niggas is right in front of each other. I think they be going in here together, man. These dudes. Man.
faded into silence. At the end of the hall,